This was try to give an asana to Narayana. Yes, but always take all considerations and all these rules and regulations. Who always lives with him. Otherwise, all the will come to me. Everything is a look after. Any kirtan? You like it? You do any? You like it? And any kirtan you like? More kirtan, you know? Any other kirtan? Jashamati Nandan, you know? Okay, you should.
What?
Not morning tea. Go on, don't cut. This special kirtan, very high kirtan. At the time of Prabhupada, Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur, his disciples used to control this kirtan. They always विरोध करते थे, oppose that you should not do this. But now, going on, because the current cannot be at a place, so tide and time should go away. Anyone cannot check. The Bhaktivinoda Thakur has compiled this song. Almost all the highest pastimes of Krishna has come in this. What is the meaning of Jamuna Jivan?
Tatachara. Jamuna Tatachara.
Jamuna Tatachara. Jamuna Tatachara Rasa Krishna Rasika Samaya Shri Radha Vallabha Bhakati Vinod Jamuna Tatachara. What is the meaning of Jamuna Tatachara?
On the bank of the Jamuna river, that Krishna is walking and wandering along the bank.
What is
And
it?
all the kunjas which are next to the bank of the
Jamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasana Rasa Rasika Krita. Also Bansi Bhat on the bank of the Pandit Bhat is also. Almost all the highest places are nearer to either Jamuna or bank of Radha Kund. There is a Jamun Bhav mood. What is that mood? Very secret. Especially the devotees who have so much only desire, they should not infer. But for advanced devotees, Jamun, what is Jamun mood? Krishna is doing so many pastimes on the bank of Jamuna, especially these gopis. And at that time, their mood, mani gopis mood, is called Jamun Bhav. For serving Krishna in that mood, that is called Jamun Bhav. So, Krishna is there walking, enjoying Ras, playing beautiful pastimes. So if anyone wants to chant there, in that mood is so secret and so high. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling that I am taking aside of that notable, which Jashodanandan who is playing on the banks of Yamuna, taking clothes, everything of gopis, and dancing with them, and tasting ocean of rush, everything. So he is praying that I am taking the ashraya of that Bhagavad. Sometimes you can chant name and recite this kirtan also. Yamuna Tattva Gopi Vasana Hara Rasa Rashida, and chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. These are the process. Today is appearance day of Sila, Nishingari. He appeared for Prahlad Maharaj. They will explain all these things. In evening class. Now I am going to the nectar of instruction. Nrsimhadev has not come for Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj is always with Nrsimhadev. So, through Prahlad Maharaj, he will be merciful to all, and he will show that if anyone takes my ashraya, I must protect him from all kinds of obstacles of bhaktis. So, he protected Prahlad Maharaj. But Prahlad Maharaj has never prayed that you should come and protect him. Never. Like Ambarish Maharaj never prayed that, oh, Chakshu Sudarshan, come and save me. Krishna is always worried for his devotees. And he has not only two eyes. Top to bottom he has
full of eyes.
only eyes. And ears. And that these eyes cannot see here in darkness, very far away, but his eyes can everywhere. There is not a place, any darkness or anywhere, where his eyes cannot penetrate. He will see with lakhs and lakhs eyes everywhere. So he knows that what should I do or not. He is qualified, having all powers, so much merciful. So why we should disturb and worry for this, that, oh, Krishna protect me if anything comes. So always devotees are like Ambarish Maharaj and they never worry for all these things. Only they were worried that, oh, when I will have Krishna service. Only there. Pratimana Mahatumi,
साक्षात ब्रजेंद्र
Brajendra Nandan Bina,
फाटे मोर मुंह.
all this problem, how to see Krishna, how to serve him, or to serve his devotee, nothing else. I may ask some question to devotees. You should all be ready. To whom what question will be asked? I don't know. That what question is asked. So all should be ready. Text 5 to have done, but something is page 57, last stanza. This would read.
When a person realizes himself to be an eternal
I
servitor,
want to say that no, you should very carefully hear all these things. Swamiji has written all these things. Arup Goswami has written, or I am explaining, that we should adopt all these things. And we should be established in Suddha Pure Bhakti. So very minutely and carefully we should hear all these things. I told something last day about name and diksha. I know that generally so many devotees have all these doubts. What I cleared today, yesterday. I think that this will go over whole world, all these things, and it can
Create a revolution, spiritual revolution.
though it has been written in his books deeply. Swamiji has written. I only expanded or explained them. But he has written all these things. Rupa Goswami has written. So our duty is to give a
Vision.
proper vision to understand all these things. So when I read this, I think that Rupa Goswami is writing so deep. So without the help of explanation of any pure devotee like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Swamiji, Srila Prabhupada, we cannot realize all these things, though it is in books. And that is why Acharya or any devotee realizes these facts and again writes something. So writing never stops. If Swamiji was there, he has written so many books, more and more. So when a person realizes himself
to be an eternal servitor of Krishna, he loses interest in everything but Krishna's service.
meaning
He gives up his desire for sense gratification and just wants to serve Krishna.
only he believes in Krishna service and other things he forgets.
Always thinking of Krishna, devising means by which to spread the holy name of Krishna, he understands that his only business is in spreading the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Such a person is
It is
recognized...
not, he will clear it. Afterward, he will clear it. The symptom of a pure Vaishnava is to, business is to, in spreading the Krishna consciousness. What is Krishna consciousness? Before Swamiji, this Krishna consciousness was there or not?
Yes. Yes.
What?
Society of pure devotees.
Before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it was there or not?
Eternal.
It is eternal. Narad Rishi is one of them.
Krishna consciousness is
Greatest. He is the guru of
Life member.
I think anyone cannot cut this argument. Brahma is, or Chaturmukh Brahma is first our Guru. Now, in Krishna consciousness, Vyas, Sukadeva Goswami, after that Sutta Goswami, Madhvacharya, Ramanu, Vishnu Swami, Nirmati, Ishwar Puripad, Madhvendra Puripad, Sarup Damodar, Ramanu, and up to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati and his disciples, bona fide disciples. All are Krishna consciousness. He will clear it afterward. That what is Krishna consciousness? Any sect or any special something, any group,
Not sectarian.
not sectarian. So, anyone is spreading Krishna consciousness all over world.
Such a person is to be recognized as an Uttama Adhikari. And his association should be immediately accepted according to the
Anyone.
6 processes.
Not of a special sect, movement, or group, or anything. Anyone is doing that. But I know that I am not that in that class. I am not. It may be that I am Madhyam Kanishta. Not more than that. I know it. Sometimes in the stage of Kanishta, and sometimes that entering in Madhyam. Madhyam.
But we know that you are.
You cannot realize it because you are not literate.
Maybe we should find another guru.
Maharaj, if you're saying you're Kanishta, then you cannot tell him he's not liberated.
Then come to point.
You are giving your own words.
So anyone, but if he is actually spreading, but never falling down, and if after some time he falls down, then he comes from Uttamadhikari to fallen stage. A Uttamadhikari cannot fall in any way, in any condition. We must have this idea. If falling down, then he was not Uttamadhikari. He has told afterward. We will come to this point afterward. So if anyone is bona fide and actually giving inspiration to all, himself he always in the line, then he should be treated like Uttamadhikari. But some persons, they only preach for their own gain. Even Madhyamadhikari they are not. And they may fall down. But
some gurus are preaching all around the world, making many disciples. Many disciples, they have not fallen, but they do not possess the qualities of Uttama
he will
Adhikari.
explain further. Swamiji, I have not to tell anything more. He will explain everything. I follow his lecture. He is so expert that he will not leave any point to be discussed. Every point. Only I will have to show you that here he is right.
Indeed, the advanced Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava devotee should be accepted as a spiritual master.
Indeed, advanced Uttamadhikari, Vaishnava.
Should be accepted as a spiritual master.
Yes. And if he is not, he has some doubts, then not Uttamadhikari.
Everything that one possesses should...
If anyone changes his siddhant, sometimes this, sometimes jumping on this branch, sometimes on that, sometimes falling down, again jumping. Established truth is one. This would always be.
Everything one possesses should be offered to him, for it is enjoined that one should deliver whatever he has to the spiritual master. The brahmachari in particular is supposed to beg alms from others and offer them to the spiritual master. However, one should not imitate the behavior of an advanced devotee or Mahabhagwat without being self-realized.
Any advanced devotee like Sukadeva Goswami never takes shoes, so I should not take. This is not. We should not imitate any Mahabhagwat. Mahabhagwat sometimes turban in a special way. Sometimes he wears some sandals, nothing on body, only these. Then a Kanishta thinks that anyone can honor if I am taking that process. To attract persons, he wears sandal, wooden sandal, and a mile he can walk, we cannot. But he can, 1 mile, 2 miles he can walk. In severe cold he can be with his. We cannot be. But this is imitation. Try to follow the inner things. Don't go to external and expose all these things. These are the not systems.
For by such imitation, one will eventually become degraded.
Yes, they will not advance, but they will degrade.
In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advises the devotee to be intelligent enough.
This is conclusion.
To be intelligent enough to distinguish between the Kanistha Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. The devotee should also know his own position and should not try to imitate a devotee situated on a higher platform.
Now this is going on. And that is why so much folly. So much folly.
Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given some practical hints to the effect that an Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava can be recognized by his ability to convert many fallen souls to Vaishnavism. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttama Adhikari.
What it means?
If one is still a Madhyama or Kanistha, he shouldn't become a spiritual master.
Gopindapal Prabhu. That's one.
A person's adhikar is always determined by faith. Srila Prabhupada quoted earlier Madhya Lila to that effect. And as the faith increases, the adhikar increases up to Uttam. Madhyamadhikari, his faith is limited, only to see Krishna in one place. That's Kanistha Adhikari. Madhyamadhikari, his faith grows and he can see by discrimination, he can see how to deal with people, but Uttamadhikari means that he sees everything Krishna and everybody, as we discussed yesterday, he sees everything Krishna and everybody as
Everything is Krishna. Everything in Krishna.
in Krishna. And everyone worshipping Krishna is as he worships his own Istadeva in his mood.
Yes.
So that is the Uttamadikari who we should take shelter of.
One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttamadikari. He cannot answer the questions. He cannot,
Clear the doubts.
if the two things are opposite,
Reconcile.
he cannot reconcile. Those who are in dilemma, what to do or not to do, how they can help the devotees. So, he is telling like this, when you have attained the platform of Uttamadikari, he can initiate. And actually he is qualified to preach. Otherwise he can be involved in all these things. We are seeing all these things. Someone makes disciples, and a very beautiful devotee, lady devotee came, and he involves and gets all these things, and with married or not married, he goes anywhere. There are so many, not only example. He is involved in money and praise, self-praise and all these things. A neophyte Vaishnava,
A neophyte Vaishnava or a Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples, but such disciples must be on the same platform, and it should be understood that they cannot advance very well towards the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance.
Yes.
Therefore, a disciple should be careful.
No. This will explain something. So, Uttamadikari like Narad and all others are actually Guru. But sometimes a Madhyamadikari or a Guru being Uttamadikari, he comes in the stage of Madhyamadikari. When he is bona fide in all kinds of Siddhant, Shastra Siddhant, and his Sattva is so strong. And perhaps this stage is Madhyam or Madhyam Uttam. In this stage he can initiate some, unlimited, not so much, and be very carefully that he should, they cannot
Advance very well.
no. Such disciples must be on the same platform. What platform?
The Madhyam platform.
I am always in Madhyam. I am not, I cannot help them, my disciples, so much. This would happen. There are no such high class of Vaishnavas. So I am giving letters like peon,
Postman.
like postman. They should understand there is stage where they are staying. So they should not be proud that I am making lakhs and lakhs disciples. Then he is fallen. And he must fall. He is fallen but to fall. If he is humble, he may advance into Uttamadikari and he will be. Surely, very soon he will be like that. To preach and to initiate. And it should be understood that they cannot advance very well towards ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance. Anyone cannot go. They cannot advance. He should know who. Those who are getting initiation. And he should not be proud that I am same as Nityananda Prabhu. And you should obey me like Nityananda Prabhu. This will be offense. He should know that I am not like Rupa Goswami, like Nityananda Prabhu. He should not have this false right. He always should realize his own position. He should pray. I know that, I'm helping them. But we see that so many disciples are there and Guru is there. And after that, he made about 2,000 disciples. And he becomes himself Bhagavan or anyone. And after that, what became? Went to hell. So we should not think that, think me as as Nityananda, Sakshat Haritvena Samastasa. I am that person. Sakshat Haritvena. But actually, a guru who is sincere, he will not think like this. He will think like a messenger of Nityananda Prabhu. He should think. He should not tell that I am the same person, I will come again and again and I will take you. Yeah. He will not tell like this. Nityananda Prabhu can tell. Uttamadhikari can tell this. So don't imitate that I am Uttamadhikari. Then why? I heard that a disciple took sword and he wanted to kill him.
Guru, spiritual master.
Spiritual. And he gave a knife here. Why? And at the time of Gurudev, he is himself initiating so many. Without order. Why? So, this is very bad things. So we cannot, they cannot advance very well. He should know. So I should take shelter or guidance of any advanced spiritual master. And then he will not do anything against high classes of Vaishnavas. But if he is not so, then he will make so many offenses in the higher, lotus feet of higher devotees. He is bound to do. Therefore, disciples should be careful to accept Uttamadhikari as a spiritual master. So we should be very, very careful in these things. Then come in text 6. Drishtais स्वभावजनितैश्च वपुषस्य दोषैर् न प्रकृतत्वमिह भक्तजनस्य पश्येत् गंगां भसानुखल्बदुबुदुफेनुपङ्कैर् ब्रह्मद्रवत्तमपगच्छति नीरधर्मैः दृष्टैः स्वभावजनितैश्च वपुषस्य दोषैः. So first we should try to honor 3 classes of Vaishnava. That it has been explained. Krishna iti just gring tang manasadriyeta. Those who are taking one name, even they should be respected. Whether he is or God brother or anywhere, he should be Vaishnava. we should treat and honor him as a Vaishnava. In case he is not our God brother, then what should we do? Should we try to take his neck here and do, or go away from him? Don't come in our territory. And he will pass out of that way. Oh, anyone should not go to this person. He is out of our boundary. He is not the Guru of, or in the line of our Guru. Whether he will be very, very high class of the Guru. So, we should honor all these things what it has been explained in. For those who are taking Varnan, they should be honored with mind. And those who are initiated actually and chanting names, and they have been initiated and chanting name always, they should be honored by mind and also by body, mind and speech. And those who are more higher, not criticizing anyone, having no unearths, no unearths, not having not ninda,
criticizing,
no dvesh at all,
Envious.
envious, out of that, yeah. And always chanting and remembering the pastimes of Krishna, Ashtakali Leela. That should be honored with heart, core of heart. Give your head, heart, everything in that. Person's lotus feet and serve. Serve his speeches, serve his lotus feet, everything. Krishna Bhakti Rasabhavitamati Kriyatam Kutopilam. Tatra Lolnamapamulyame Kalam Janma Kotis. By serving him, you can have a very thick greed in a spontaneous service of Krishna. It will certainly come. Then he is telling that if a Vaishnava is in that standard, but Kanishta Adhikari cannot distinguish that whether he is Uttam Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari or Kanishta Adhikari. Madhyam Adhikari can realize this thing. But sometimes he may misguide. If he will see a very beautiful, young, energetic person chanting or delivering speeches, he think that he is very bona fide Guru. And if more advanced, like Ashtabakra, and he is preaching, but he is so ugly, his voice that is not so sweet, he will think that, he is bogus person. So for them, he is telling, Drishtai Swabhav Janitai Vapusascha Doshai Na Prakritittvamiha Bhakta Janasya Passi Ganga Vasang Na Khalu Buddha Buddha Pain Pankai Brahma Dharma Pagatsati. You can read the translation.
Being situated in his original Krishna conscious position, a pure devotee does not identify with the body. Such a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Indeed, one should overlook a devotee's having a body born in a low family.
You should know here one thing. A low class of devotee. He does not think anything from the view of Paramarthic,
Spiritual.
spiritual vision. He becomes sometimes against any pure devotee only with the views of worldly things, material things. So he should be careful, very, very careful. On Vaishnava, we should not have worldly vision. And he is warning in this issue. Go on.
So one should overlook a devotee's having a body born in a low family, a body with a bad complexion, a deformed body, or a diseased or infirm body. According to
Once, you should read a word then.
same thing.
After that, you should.
According to ordinary vision, such imperfections may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee. But despite such seeming defects, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. It is exactly like the waters of the Ganges, which sometimes, during the rainy season, are full of bubbles, foam, and mud. The Ganges waters do not become polluted. Those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe in the Ganges without considering the condition of the water.
Once, a rishi named Ashtavakra went in the council of Maharaj Jana, so learned and jnani. So many rishis and muni of high class, Brahmavadi, realizing Brahma, were there. And this Ashtavakra was crooked from all body. Here, there, everywhere. Taking a stick with a very कष्ट से बड़े कष्ट से आया.
Great difficulty.
Anyhow he came. He traveled the path of one day in 1 month. Understand?
Very slowly.
Anyhow, come. No heights. But he came to the council of Maharaj. Seeing him, all began to laugh. Maharaj Janak also laughed. Oh, this person is so desperate that here are so many Latin councils. And without any fear, he entered. His skin is so dark, rough and black. Here something crooked, here something crooked, mouth is crooked, everything. But how he dared to come here? No good clothes, nothing. There were some, pores? Cracks. All began to laugh. For a moment he was silent, but after that he also laughed so much more than them. And all were struck down. Why he is laughing? Their laughing was stopped. Then Maharaj Janak came to him and told, "Who are you? And why you are laughing so?" He told that, "Who am I? I will tell further, afterward. But I am laughing. But I am not laughing. I am weeping, crying. Very far away I am coming, and you are seeing my position. I cannot walk. But I came here only to see the counsels of Maharaj Janak, so learned. I have heard. He are Brahmagani, like Jagyavalka and all others. But at that time Yajnavalkya was not there. So I came to hear their discourses and teachings. But here I have become hopeless. Maharaja, why you have become hopeless? All are so learned. He told us, I am not seeing anyone learned, but I am saying that all are here.
Cobblers.
Huh?
Cobblers.
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 Cobblers. Cobblers means?
Shoemakers.
Then he became great. Maharajan, all there are cobblers. 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 Why not? All are cobblers. Totally all. You are not saying that there is so much learned person coming in the Brahmin Vansha and so learned, Brahmavadi Rishi? No. And they all are cobblers. Why? Like cobblers work from skins. They only, this skin is so chrome leather. This is what leather?
Good quality.
Good quality. Whether it is chrome or not. So they are of same class. They cannot see whether Atma is pure or not. They cannot realize Atma and Paramatma. Only body, this is skin. They are expert in skin, but not expert in Atma. And all became ashamed. And at once Maharaj Janak came in the lotus feet of that Rishi, and he took him on his
own thorn.
and began to apologize. Here's something. You should not apply our worldly vision to any devotees. Always be careful. Don't criticize any Vaishnava for your body's gain or mental gain. For money, for reputation, for any other thing. But we are doing like so. If a devotee will come and influence this area, then we will have nothing to gain, no money, no disciple, nothing. And then it is very, very harmful for us. So we should make something like this. This is only this view, not Swami's view. Then purport, you come to 63, last stanza.
If we consider the bodily defects of a Vaishnava, we should understand that we are committing an offense at the lotus feet of the Vaishnava.
We should always be careful for this.
An offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava is very serious. Indeed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described this offense as Hati Mata, the mad elephant offense. A mad elephant can create a disaster, especially when it enters into a nicely trimmed garden. One should therefore be very careful not to commit any offense against a Vaishnava. Every devotee should be ready to take instructions from a superior Vaishnava, and a superior Vaishnava must be ready to help an inferior Vaishnava in all respects.
He has told all things. For devotees who are sadhak in lower grade and the sadhak of upper grade. Those who is initiating and those who are initiated. For both. Every devotee should be ready to take instruction from a superior Vaishnava. And a superior Vaishnava must be ready to help inferior Vaishnava. This is the symptom of Uttam Madhyam Adhikari. Madhyam Adhikari. And if he is not doing, then he is doing offenses. They should do like this. One is superior or inferior according to his spiritual development in Krishna consciousness. Very superiority or inferiority. We should always, if you are Madhyamadhikari, you should always consider this. Then you can progress. Or otherwise your progress will be stopped. So always be careful about these things. And then
one is forbidden to observe the activities of a pure Vaishnava from a material point of view.
But now we are seeing like this. We should change this view if we want to advance. And if we are not changing, then making more offenses. And at last we will be ruined. Then,
For the neophyte especially, considering a pure devotee from a material point of view is very injurious.
for neophyte especially, considering a pure devotee from a material point of view is very injurious. One should.
Therefore, avoid observing a pure devotee externally, but should try to see the internal features and understand how he is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord.
Always be careful and see how he is engaged in his transcendental loving services of Krishna. But he is offending, always offensive. Nature cannot have this vision of sin. But we should try.
In this way, one can avoid seeing the pure devotee from a material point of view, and thus we can gradually become a purified devotee. One can gradually become a purified devotee himself.
Go on.
Those who think that Krishna consciousness is limited
This very important thing.
to a certain section,
Line. You should also line. Underline. Those who
think that Krishna
be like
consciousness
a liberal view that Narada is in Krishna consciousness. Vyas is in that. All the Vaishnava like Ramanuja, Vishnu Swami, Nimbaditya, their disciples, all are Krishna consciousness. Oh, there are something, Vaishistya, especially. This is another thing. We'll have some more honor, but we'll have to honor all. No? So, those who think that Krishna consciousness is limited to a certain section of people, they are wrong. Again, go on.
or a certain section of
Certain
devotees.
section of devotees only, or we only, and all are rejected. We should not have any Sangha association of them. Very wrong. If you cannot associate, then you can have honor. What harm to have honor to them? Don't dishonor. You should honor. It is okay that if it is in line, in same, what I want, Swajati Snigdha Asha. We should associate with the devotees who is Snigdha, Swajatiya. Swajatiya means? Same. What I want, what is the object of mind, is in the line of same. Like I want to be a friend of Krishna, he should be like this. I want to be in the line of Rupa Goswami, I will see that he is more superior than me, but in this line. In the line of Srila Rupa Goswami. Then we should associate with him always, with very honor. but don't dishonor anyone. Guru Goste Gostale Sujane Bhusurugane. Even the Brahmins who are living in Vrindavan don't dishonor. If they are not one-ended in Krishna, sometimes they worship Vishnu, Vaikuntha, Dwarkadhish, Krishna. In the same line, no harm. Having some. We should not dishonor or make any offense. But we cannot associate with them because they are not in the line of devotion. So this is all right. But, oh God, we cannot meet with you. This is very offensive. It will harm our bhakti. Then go on. So those who think that Krishna consciousness is limited to a certain section of people, a certain section of devotee, we are ISKCON, all other than that, not ISKCON, then what will be? And that is going on in this time. And that is why a very problem for them. Or a certain
tract of land are generally prone to see the external features of the devotee.
What is the meaning of certain tract of land?
Area of land, America or Europe.
Zone.
Territory.
They should understand these things. And then we will be qualified to preach or anything. Then they will practically and sincerely Vaishnava. Anyone. So we will have to change our this thing. Go on.
So they are prone to see the external features of the devotee. Such neophytes, unable to appreciate the exalted service of the advanced devotee, try to bring the Mahabhagavat to their platform.
What is the meaning?
They see that he has...
Mahabhagavat is also in my platform. I am envy, he has also envy. I am thief, so he is thief. Everything like him.
Which I am thinking everyone must think same.
Also I can control him also. This is very big offenses.
We experience such difficulty in propagating this Krishna consciousness all over the world. Unfortunately, we are surrounded by neophyte godbrothers who do not appreciate...
They are told
Neophyte.
Neophyte. They don't know all these things. Siddhant, actually. What is Vaishnava that they are not doing? Only they have heard that mantra. But actually they are not Vaishnava, Madhyamadhikari. And that is why they are doing wrong. He has some experience, and that is why. And he is saying that some God brothers are quarreling within them, not honoring high classes of Vaishnava. That not understanding what he is doing, Swamiji himself. Someone criticize him in any way. So he is telling to beware for their disciples and to be careful. Go on.
Who do not appreciate the extraordinary activities of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. They simply try to bring us to their platform, and they try to criticize us in every respect.
The same position is now. Same position. So we should be very careful.
We very much regret their naive activities and poor fund of knowledge. An empowered person who is actually engaged in the confidential service of the Lord should not be treated as an ordinary human being. For it is stated that unless one is empowered by Krishna, one cannot spread the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world.
Go on.
When one thus criticizes a pure devotee, he commits an offense. Vaishnava.
When one thus criticizes a pure devotee, he commits an offense. Vaishnava aparadha. Gone. This is very destructive and dangerous for those who desire to advance in Krishna consciousness. They cannot progress. But there is envy and worldly vision, material vision, they are bound to do so. So sometimes Acharya like Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati and all descend to this world.
A person cannot derive any spiritual benefit when he offends the lotus feet of a Vaishnava. Everyone should therefore be very careful not to be jealous of an empowered Vaishnava or a Shuddha Vaishnava.
They shouldn't enter. They shouldn't have a little smell of envy. You should always be careful. Don't have it. Be liberated. Be liberal. Try to honor, not right. You should honor all Vaishnavas. Don't criticize them. If you cannot associate, no harm, but don't dishonor. If Vaishnava is, he knows that Vaishnava is doing some bad things. He is going to prostitute. He is mixing with bad society. He should not associate with him, but don't dishonor him. Otherwise his bad qualities will come in you. Go on.
It is also an offense to consider an empowered Vaishnava an object of disciplinary action.
What is the meaning, Prabhu? What is the meaning?
Actually, Vaishnavas are to be honored in all cases, and never are we to be in a critical mood of any of them. It's not our duty. They are all belonging to Krishna, and they're all, Krishna is taking care of everyone. It's not our duty to criticize or to rebuke him in his ways.
An object of discipline. What?
But specifically, before I stated that an empowered person who is actually engaged in the confidential service of the Lord should not be treated as an ordinary human being. For it is stated that unless one is empowered by Krishna, one cannot spread the Krishna conscious movement. So this is speaking about Uttam Bhagavat, that such person should not be considered the object of discipline. Rather, such person is directly empowered by the Supreme Lord.
Control them by disciplic rules and regulations. Oh, you should come. We have made some rules, so you should follow. So the Goswami, come on. You should first take your clothes and have a tilak and a tulsi mala, otherwise we will not hear you. You go from here. Control me. Haridas Thakur, have you abstracted any guru from whom you have taken initiation? What he will tell? He will smile that he don't know anything and he wants to control you. So don't give any instruction to them. Don't give any advice to them if you want to gain something. Don't advise. Don't control them. I know that a Kanishta Adhikari, he wants to control Madhyam and Uttam. Sometimes Madhyam also. By ignorance, he wants to control. Oh, you should do like this. I've heard from Swamiji he was in a very mood. And he told me that. Now I am controlled. So many persons want to control me. So many things that I don't want to explain here. But we should be careful. It is offensive to try.
It is offensive to try to give him advice or to correct him.
Now you are correcting this. Oh, Gurudev should be corrected. He should be advised. He does not know worldly things. He had no knowledge. He had not gone to Oxford University. He has only gone to Haridas Thakur University. School of Lord Kishore Das. He does not know etiquettes and all this. Gurudev, I have read in Oxford University. So I know much more all these things. You only know how to chant Hare Krishna and to tell Hari Katha. It will not do. So sometimes you should follow me. Don't give advice. There was an old person in our mutt. His name was Muni Maharaj. He took sannyas with his age was 100. Once he was sitting in a very little room, attached to my room. He was very much helpful for me, and always he helped me, and I also served him whole life. He was telling that all knows me that he is a very old Giddha.
Vulture.
Yes, very old. He cannot move, he cannot do anything. Useless person. But I am here and looking like this. I know everything. Because I am expert in all these things. Huh? I know all these things. So he was telling so many things to me that they think me also like them. They want to regulate me. They don't know me. So smiling. But he was very faultless. So we should be very careful for this. And then, very important lines he is giving instruction. We should try to follow if we want to progress our bhakti. This is called Ishtagoshti. I am saying that no one is sleeping. All are inspired. All are seeing, hearing from 10 or 20 years. But some are in very, very condition. They cannot follow these instructions. But they should try. Then, again that line.
It is offensive to try to give him advice or to correct him.
Don't try to give any advice to your superiors. They are superior in all ways. Not in spirituality, but also in worldly things.
One can distinguish between a neophyte Vaishnava and an advanced Vaishnava by their activities.
Not so all. Those who are Madhyamadhikari and who are sincere, they can. Otherwise they cannot. They will think that I am only advanced and all are inferior. He will think. But an advanced devotee will think I am inferior and all are advanced. The advanced
The advanced Vaishnava is always situated as the spiritual master, and the neophyte is always considered his disciple.
We should think like this. Always we should think his disciple.
The spiritual master must not be subjected to...
I saw Swamiji. He was preaching all over the world. He has written so many books. Chaitanya Chaitam, explain Chaitanya Chaitam, published in about 60 languages. Gita as it is, and thousands of disciples. But he was weeping at the time of departure of my Gurudev. When our Guru Maharaj departed from this world, he was weeping and he wrote letter. And he wrote that verse with some change. Vairagya bhakti rasam prayatni apayan manam vipshamandam kripam buddhija parad dukkha dukhi kesavam aham prapadde. He changed the name of Sanatana Goswami. And in his name, in spite of, he added all. How he is honoring his Sannyas Guru, but not disciples of my Gurudev, but he was Sannyas, our Gurudev has given him Sannyas. And he always treated him like his Siksha Guru. To him, Siddha Maharaj and Swami. So he was always had given honor to all the Vaishnava. And the last date, last night, when he took my hands and told me, I have done so many mistakes, offenses in the lotus feet of Vaishnava. I have told so many things that I should not have told. So please you should excuse me. I am his Siksha Shishya, so lower, and he taking his my hands and weeping, and he told to me that excuse me, how he is liberal, how he is humble. A general person cannot do this. Because of false ego, he has no false ego. Realize, so that is why he is advising us not to do like this, be all. He told also that you should convey my this prayer to all my God brothers. I may have to. I don't know, you cannot tell it like this. You cannot. But anyone can tell. For some reason, and if you have told anything, it is not offensive. So, he is telling this thing. The spiritual master must not be
subjected to the advice of the disciple.
Mane? What is it?
The disciple.
What?
The spiritual master is not under the jurisdiction or control of the disciples. He is not subject to their advice.
More clear?
So, disciple, he may offer something for consideration of spiritual master, but spiritual master is not obliged to take.
Yes. Further. Go on. The spiritual master must not be
subjected to the advice of the disciple, nor should a spiritual master be obliged to take instructions from those who are not his disciples.
What is the meaning?
That the spiritual master, he does not require to accept the advice of his disciple. If his disciple wants to give him advice, he does not require to accept that. Nor if someone is not his disciple, and if someone is not the disciple of the Guru, but he also still wants to give advice to Guru, Guru does not require to accept his advice.
So, we should be very careful about these things. And this is called nectar of section. Then final word.
This is the sum and substance of Srila Rupa Goswami's advice in the 6th verse.
Gaur Pramanam.
Just one question. This part where it was described that if one tries to advise somebody who's empowered, so can we understand that if somebody is, you can see somebody's empowered, they're self-effulgent, so then all Vaishnavas, they should accept.
I could not understand.
For instance, if by one's activities of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world and inspiring devotees, then one can see that one is self-effulgent. Srila Prabhupada would say a self-effulgent acharya. So then if somebody tries to limit or regulate, then they're making very big aparad. But rather, they should appreciate when somebody's empowered and has been given that position by Krishna. And should follow.
Yes, you should follow.
So this is the understanding.
Hmm?
So this is, we can understand like this.
I will tell further. Now time is over. I will hear also about this and I will go. Class will be begun from 5 Kirtan, and after that classes, and after that just about 6:30. How much will take to go? Children want to take uncles, they can take uncles, no harm. Vegetables, fruits, water. Not so much control. Jai Radha Madhava
Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava
जय जय प्रहलाद जय जय
सिंह जय जय प्रहलाद जय जय सिंह जय जय प्रहलाद जय जय सिंह जय जय प्रहलाद जय जय
सिंह जय जय प्रहलाद जय जय
सिंह जय जय प्रहलाद जय जय
सिंह जय जय प्रहलाद जय जय
सिंह जय जय प्रहलाद जय जय
सिंह जय जय प्रहलाद जय जय
सिंह जय जय प्रहलाद जय जय
Ito nisinga parato nisinga 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 Jato jato jani jato nisinga Jato jani jato nisinga
Savakara Kamala Bhare Adbhuta
Thank you. जय नृसिंहदेव की जय, महाराज की जय, ब्रज की जय, डिवोटीज ऑफ न्यू वृंदावन ब्रज की जय। नारायण महाराज की जय, नारायण महाराज की
What does that mean, Chad?
Very strong class.
You know what's up?
Shop for medicine. It's so expensive.
We didn't exaggerate.
Yes. It was like that. Sometimes
This
after
would have been a
class
good
like
picture.
this, I go and lay down.
Usually they let you take Oh, no, don't walk right by me and I'll trip over you.
These classes, they'll make a very nice book. Many devotees will be very interested to read these books, actually. Your purports on Prabhupada's purport.
Right.
Bhakti without the bhakti without
Finally.
Bhakti Vedanta purport.
Oh, a scorpion?
Yes.
I don't know what happened. Some
Snake.
snake or...
No, snake.
He knows better.
আমি জানি না বললো ইন্দাজ দিয়ে বললো পিছে কামড়িয়েছে
Choose a scorpion.
Where?
Huh?
Where was it?
She's giving
Be
treatment.
careful.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the poison come afterward.
Someone got bit?
Who got this?
You
put the
Two more days to live.
What was the serpent?
She was so small.
Not so
Very small. Yeah, little
Maybe-
scorpions around here. Put sandalwood. Grind sandalwood.
Scorpion like this.
No, some kind of family.
Put the earwig.
আসন সবারে বেজে গেছে 12টা 20
Just an ant.
No.
It's an ant, yeah.
No use of return.
There's only one-way ticket. They have bought one-way ticket.
No return.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Gaur Premanand.
What a way to start the day.
Rasoham of Sukhant.
निकटन में बैठता है तो क्या कर रहा था हाथ काटना बैठने के लिए जरूरत नवीन महाराज जी आएंगे जबकि सब लोग बैठ जाएंगे तो आते हुए सब आएंगे your father not with
will come. We have become half an hour late. Janushalakaya Chaturunumilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Atita